Was looking at some of our really old videos the other day. I did like a search for like Eldar or something like that. And I found one from 2007. And that's really when we started making the YouTube videos. Some of you may remember, some of you have been watching the studio for like 7 or more years, going on 8 years since I started recording everything. And back in 2007, so first off, I'm like, wow, I look like actually younger, you know, and probably about 10 pounds lighter. So, and all I had at the time, so what had happened is in 2007, I had rented this sort of basement, you know, office type space, and it was beautiful. Like, it was better than anything I could have imagined, you know, and a dream come true because I could actually fit, you know, 2 or 3 tables. Very excited about it. But with a bit of a downturn, I had to cut back. And late 2007, almost, every single one of my staffers, except one person, they all left at the same time. And so I like, you know, and over the years, I've kind of always taken it personally if someone leaves the company. Not like in a bad way, like I don't get upset, but I'm just like, oh, is there something wrong with my organization? Or something? You know, is it, do I smell, you know? But it's like, no, that's how it works. It's that, you know, people have lives and they find other things to do. And it's like, you know what, it's okay. And if you add it all up, I probably replaced the staff here entirely at least 10 times. And, you know, it just probably all told, we've had about 150 artists come through here. And that's kind of the nature of the beast of what we do with the miniatures assembly and painting industry. As it is, it's about 500 solo artists, what I have come to call the swarm. And, you know, and it's just kind of this boiling free-for-all, you know, if they crop up, then they disappear. What happened to them? We don't know. And some of them stick around. Some of them form like little pods. But I would say that generally with business nowadays, the internet with low barrier to entry and that the, I guess, increasing burden of like government regulation and interference. Don't start a whole thread on that, by the way, but it lends itself to like very much smaller operations. So in 2007, you may not know it because I'm just like, I've got my little PowerShot, you know, $80 digital camera that takes like 3 minutes of this horrible video, you know, and 3 minutes is it. And you'll notice all the videos from back then are just like these little tinny sort of 2-minute and 50-second things. And so it's because I'm watching the timer, you know, count up to the 3-minute mark. So anyway, that was like unbeknownst to the fans, you know, watching us grow and kind of formulate ourselves in the badger hole, which incidentally was like this windowless office, is that was a time of like great introspection for me. And it was hard. 2008, early 2008, that was a brutal winter for me personally. I was just like, you know, am I a terrible person? Is my company worth anything? Am I going to survive? I had no idea how I was going to fill those orders. No, but guess what? They all got filled. And every year, every quarter, in fact, we finish off, you know, I don't know, 150 to 250 projects. And they all get that personalized attention, you know, that if there's issues, we resolve them. And a lot of orders have like tons of instructions to them because this is a very detailed industry, you know. And for me, and some people have noticed, because I have people like ask, like fans be like, Sean, are you okay? And the fact is, yes and no. And that's okay. So that was all introduction. So the context is for a company and a personal individual, there's like these, well, I guess this would be it, the ups and downs, that expansion and contraction, harvest time and fallow time. And so over the years, and like in early 2008, I was just like, I was beside myself. I did not feel good inside. You know, and of course, that's just it. There's like this naturally cheery, like volcanic activity just always beneath the surface. That it's like, you know, some people it's like, you know, they're kind of like grumpy cat, and then if someone walks by, they're like, oh, hello, you know, and they think. But with me, it's almost like the opposite. That it's like, I just constantly have like this energy coming out. And, you know, sometimes like on the surface, it'll just be like, oh, you having a bad day, buddy? So there are expansions and contractions in anybody's life. And for me, last October marked the gentle end of a 20-year marriage for me. And I don't care where you are mentally. I don't care how your life is shaping up. That is a pretty seismic event. And it can be scary. It's a big change. And so in my case, there was, you know, no like unusual, horrible stuff going on. And it's not something I really want to talk about. So of course, I'm putting it on YouTube, but I'm only mentioning it because I think some people kind of picked up on that. It's like, well, what about, you know, how's the vibe going? And the fact is, you know, I got a great vibe. And in fact, my life is like transforming into this wonderful new thing. But at the same time, it's like I'm going through life. It's the self-examined life. I'm going through like wondering, you know, what's going on in this universe? And, you know, I don't know, maybe it sounds silly, but I'm like, what's the nature of reality? What's really happening? And so starting in 2012, I mean, it's been really I guess you'd call an awakening for me. And I've, you know, read a ton of books. I spent a year working on like this vision room of like how I would want things, if I could have things any way that I could without limitation. And I've talked about that before. And, you know, really exciting stuff. But then at the same time, guess what? You can't ask for amazing things in your life. Like you can't put that out there and then just be like, oh, but I also want no change. I want everything to be comfortable and kind of the same as it's always been. And it's like, no, it doesn't really work that way. And so I go through life and I'm trying to see with my intuition, see with my heart, I guess would be shorthand for that. And so yeah, I've gone through like several like I'm just like thinking about it. Especially the last 4 months have been like really just an absolute like a log flume ride for Sean Gately. I'm just like, what is going on? But I've realized something very significant, which is that, you know what? Everything's okay. And this is like very recent, like the last week. And I've had like little glimmers of this throughout the years. It's like, you know what, Sean? Today, like I've always said, today is a good day. Today is great. Everything's fine today. The weather's good. The food is good. The people are good. It's when I start like getting locked up in my brain, you know, one author calls it the chatterbox, that your mind, don't confuse yourself with your mind. Your mind is a tool. Your brain is actually just something that's going, and you yourself can actually like detach and observe your own thoughts. And if you manage to quiet your mind down, quiet that chatterbox, then you'll have some peace. And doing that by living in the moment. That's what I realized. Like there's this Zen story about a monk who he's looking for enlightenment. He's been going at it for like 20 years, right? And then one day he passes a butcher's shop and there's a customer there saying, hey, I want your best cut of meat. And the butcher says, well, they're all the best cut of meat. And then he became enlightened. And supposedly what it means is every moment that you're living, that is the best moment. That to be present in what it is that you're doing. And that's when I realized, it's like, you know what? I don't have to figure this all out. And, you know, because like, I think it was like a week and a half ago, you know, I'm just like, I've got like a zillion emails and I'm just like, God, what? And I'm putting some stuff up for sale, and I'm like, what if I just sold everything? What if I just sold this place? You know, what would it look like? What would I need to really kind of launch into the next thing? So I came up with a number. It was this huge number. I put it on the web store, like with 3 sentences, you know, buy the whole thing, you know, just to kind of like, because I think in the abstract, and it drives people in my life nuts sometimes because they're like, Sean, where are you? And so anyway, so I put it up there, and I had no idea this would be picked up in like the wargaming community as a news item. And I'm just like, because then I had like inquiries, people want to know what's going on. And it's like, well, you know what? Yeah, and then just, I didn't even put up a picture. No details, no picture, no anything. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw this up there and, you know, just see how that feels. And so the next day I take it down, but of course it's been picked up and people want to know what's going on. And so back to the Zen story. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Back to the Zen story is I was like, yeah, everything's, it doesn't matter what I do. You know what I should do? I should get up and enjoy the day. That's currently my thing, is that I get up and I come down here, I interact with clients, I answer the phone, and I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time. Every day is a good day. Every cut of meat is the best cut of meat, and to be present. And for me, that's tough because I'm an abstract future thinker, and that just like is always like going. But as I've been able to calm my mind, I've realized, you know what? Just everything, at the times in my life when oh my gosh, I'm a genius. I just came up with all this stuff that all ties in. This ties into early 2008, is that I was at a point where I was just like, well, this is it, you know? I don't know what's gonna happen, but here I am. I may as well have a good time. There it is. When you get to the point where you're like, hey, I may as well just have a good time, that's when the genius happens. That, you know, whatever it is, whatever this next transformation or the next, or a better iteration of what you're currently doing, that's all going to come out of it. And in fact, another part of that story is, from the late 2007, is one of my artists erased the whiteboard, because I have a whiteboard in my office, and he drew like this 9/11 type wreckage building with a guy on fire, like running away from it, you know, and he was like, that's kind of how he felt, you know. And it's funny because at the time, who would have imagined BTP would grow into like this amazing thing, you know? And so what I did is I took a red marker and I drew this huge phoenix rising from the ashes. And I was like, yeah, nope, that's how it's gonna be. And it happened. It totally happened. Because in 2008, the people that I brought on in 2008, they were awesome. That was like this new, like, you know, like the green saplings coming out of the blackened landscape. And that's the nature of things, is that it goes in cycles. And so Sarah, this is a spring 2008. Sarah was here for 5 years and became a wonderful friend and ultimately my business partner. Mike Dunn, James, Mr. Peanut, Monocle Man, Ren, Joseph, Julie. So, and a lot of these people, they're still going. They're still going 7 years later. And I know them, and I've seen their kids grow up and kind of followed their story. It's really, really, really amazing. And it's great. It's great. So for me personally, I haven't really, I'm here every day. I go over the projects. Right now, I do not have, I'm training new people, so I literally can't get to all the emails every day. So I'm sorry. Just bear with me. I'll, work around every single thing. Everything gets ground down here. Every single thing eventually gets, we're like the mills of justice. We grind exceedingly fine. And so for me personally, the last 4 months have been a little scary. They've been a time of great personal transformation. I'm talking November, December, January, February. Arguably October, November, December, January, February, March, 6 months. And yeah, we're coming up on the last half of March. Oh, what is going on? It goes so fast. So, and my life has just been, I've just been more accepting of things. I'm allowing good things into my life. I have a woman now that is, and it's just great. She looked at me, well, we were talking, and she's like, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's just the pleasure of my company. She doesn't need or want anything else, no responsibilities there, just the company, just love. And I'm like, that's great. It's, what's the word I'm looking for? A relief, a peace and a calm. And that's, for me, that's what I feel coming into my life, is this great sense of peace. And I'm very excited for spring of 2015. I'm very excited for 2015. It's going to be really, really, really amazing. And I can feel it. I can feel it in my bones. I can feel it in my soul. Thanks for being part of the journey, and here's to the next great thing.